This city is known for being laid siege to in the 1990s, long after it had gone out of fashion. But it is a beautiful city with some interesting sports venues. Let's check out the stadiums and arenas of Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Speaking of the war, Stadion Grbavica was significantly damaged by it, but it has been extensively renovated since then. Originally it was a multi-purpose venue with a running track around the field, but it has now become more or less rectangularized. That process actually started back in the 70s, where the stadium was closed for 8 years, whilst improvements were being made, which included getting rid of the running track. It's not quite a rectangular stadium yet though. There is still one curva, as they would say in Italy. I actually like how it opens up at that end, so you can see the hills and the trees in the background. Geez, how pissed would you be if you were a die-hard Željezničar fan who lived in one of these buildings and had a perfect view from the balcony, only for the club to build a big roof stand on that side blocking your view. But yeah, this is a rather nice ground. You could say it has a certain flair to it. Hundreds of them. Dvorana Mirza Deljubašić. Bosna Royal, the club that plays here, is one of the country's biggest basketball clubs. Okay, that's not all that impressive or surprising. What is surprising is that they won the EuroLeague back in 1979. Nowadays it's dominated by the big Spanish, Greek and Turkish clubs. Mirza Deljubašić, whom the arena is named after, scored 30 points in the final. I suppose you could say that he is Bosna Royal royalty. Those days are well and truly over. The club typically attracts around 1,500 spectators, which makes even this small venue seem empty. Hence the curtains. Oh, I've been calling them by their non-commercial name, but Bosna Royal have been temporarily renamed Bosna Visit Sarajevo. Yes. I mean, I haven't got an issue with the message, you should visit Sarajevo if you have the means. But it is a name for a basketball team. Stadion Koševo. This ground is also known as Stadion Arsen Ferhatović Hase, or simply the Olympic Stadium, because although there has been a ground here since 1947, it was mostly rebuilt prior to the 1984 Winter Olympics that was held in Sarajevo. It hosted the opening ceremony, as you can see. As for the design of the stadium, well, I like that there's a bit more going on than at the typical communist-era multi-purpose stadium. I'm particularly fond of the way the stands taper down towards the east of the ground. This place seemingly hasn't had as much money poured into it as Stadion Grbavica, so it's not in the best condition. But there is one archaic feature that I hope remains, that being this scoreboard here, that follows along with the angle of the stands themselves. I like that attention to detail. I assume that was installed just prior to the Olympics. Olimpijska dvorana Juan Antonio Samaranch. This was constructed entirely for those Winter Olympics, where it hosted the ice hockey and figure skating. I don't mean to keep bringing up the city's dark past, but I have to mention that this place was used as a morgue during the war, and the original wooden seats were used to make coffins. Yes, it doesn't get much more morbid than that. The building was also bombed heavily. However, they didn't have to knock it down afterwards, as the bones of the structure were still sturdy. So they renovated it instead, and it's still going strong. I am slightly surprised that the arena still has its copper roof though. Not just because of the shelling, but copper theft is very common, and that roof must be worth a ton of money. Then again, no one has stolen the Statue of Liberty yet, have they? What? Gradski Stadion SRC Slavia. In case you didn't know, Sarajevo is divided into two in a way. A small portion of it is situated within Republika Srpska, one of the two entities that make up Bosnia and Herzegovina, and that's where this stadium lies. On this side of town, the people are mostly Slavic, and fittingly this ground is home to a club called Slavia Sarajevo. They are currently a second-tier club. This is certainly the most basic of the stadiums we've seen so far, but on a sunny day it would still be a nice place to watch football. Now for some honourable mentions. Stadion Otoka is an even smaller football stadium, but the one and only grandstand is kind of interesting, I suppose. That building over there is an indoor swimming pool, by the way. Should we go check that out as well? Here it is. Looking suitably wet. The ski jumping at the Olympics took place at Igman Olympic Jumps, which are no longer in use. Even they were damaged in the war. Looks like a cool place to chill though. Ooh. Anyone game to give it a try without the snow? Sarajevo Olympic Bobsleigh and Luge Track. Now I definitely don't need to tell you that this venue was abandoned as well. It has all the telltale signs. I don't think even the Jamaican bobsled team would be happy to train here. Snow, there you have it, so let us pick a favourite. It's got to be Stadium Grubovica, which seems like a nice and intimate football ground. Consider subscribing if you're new around here, and thanks for watching, have a good one.